back. I are back. Hey guys, I've just been. I kind of was itching to go and talk about this. So there's about 3 minutes left on the new Mind Unveiled video that I didn't finish because I really wanted to get my own thoughts out as I was arriving at the point of getting behind the wheel, where my mind likes to function. Bear with me a second. Tricky little inlet here. Oh boy. Okay. So, Mind Unveiled just did like a part 1 or something on this whole clown thing, right? And talking about the history of clowns, the hintings of the esoteric messaging behind it. He's picking up on something intuitively very well over here, right? Because I've been kind of sitting on it as well. You know, I've heard a couple of different things about clowns and stuff. James True did a really good video about the clowns, right? And there's something that, like, for one thing, I think that it's shamanic. I think that it's a chaos magic shamanism, because you're wearing the mask to assume the identity, right? You're going into the persona. You're going into the act. You are becoming it, right? It's just like a great deal of the reasons why I talk differently and act differently than I used to, right? Is because when I look in the mirror, my face has changed, this is all about that whole weight loss bit of it, right? I've got this chiseled, angular face, and I'm just like, that really does look like the face of a formidable, respectable man, and not just some heavy dude with a good smile or something, right? So my behavior, my speech, I still basically speak and kind of sound the same as I used to, but I don't know, man, my posture, my energy about the whole thing's very different, right? So when you have made alterations to your face, you have made alterations to your persona. And when you make an alteration to your persona, your personality is expressed quite different. So that makes a certain amount of sense, I think, right? So, now, I love, I love, like, doing that kind of, like, put it to you this way, I used to do, like, haunted houses, and of course I love things like black metal. So, you fall into a certain persona, right? And this is you are going into, it's what I call an authentic persona, right? I remember, I knew it, and the one who said it first was Owen Benjamin in 2020. He said, when the mask went on, the mask came off, right? The illusion of who the person in front of you was, because their entire personality shifted, and because their entire personality was obscured, and not even given a distinction, right? Now the clown is amongst those of ultimate distinction. They have different designs that angularize the face in different ways. where attention can be drawn to the cheeks in a certain way, where attention can be drawn to the nose in a certain way, while also having a certain odd kind of uniformity. There's, of course, what is usually the pale skin. Most of the time, it's the pale skin situation. And pale skin is often associated with those that are lifeless, such as vampires, the freshly dead, if you will. And I wonder about other meanings of doing such a thing, right? Of this thing where you basically white canvas your face or your body as such. And so the difference between a malevolent clown and a benevolent clown, meaning a shaman who works with spirits of good intention and spirits of ill intention, is that when this trickster comes to perform for you, is the joke on them or is it on you? Does the clown make everyone laugh at you, or does the clown make everyone laugh at himself? And what is the story that is told by either of these events and from either of the various perspectives of subject, object, or witness? Right? And so that's what effectively makes it, because when you're watching a horror film involving clowns, you're waiting for what? For the clown to turn the trick against the child. Whereas if you're not watching a horror film, you're waiting for the clown to put a trick on itself. You know, and if a benevolent clown is ever going to put a trick on a child, it's going to be to genuinely make the child smile. You know, he does a sleight of hand to reveal a candy bar. He gives the candy bar to the child, and it's just a proper, acceptable candy bar. Granted, we can all argue that candy bars are evil, but I had a candy bar recently, so sue me, right? Or whatever. The point is, a genuine, no harm, like, situation, right? And so there's this idea that this is some sort of spirit of perhaps a long dead ancient bloodline of a non-human sentient thing that maybe is, I don't know if you want to call it a species or whatever, right? Because, you know, this is getting into biblical allegations, and I'm trying to look, and I've been saying this a little bit more lately, and I have to come into stronger clarity about my meaning behind it, is that I trust the sources of the Bible. I don't trust the source Bible, right? Like, I don't want the Bible as my source. I want to find, like, particular texts, particular scrolls that can be particularly identified, acknowledged, so on and so forth, that you can say with absolution that here is a genuine, aged story written down of the persuasion of a myth or the persuasion of a history, or at the very least the persuasion of a testimony. Okay? You know, like, what, you know, it's funny how with ancient writings, like, nobody ever finds a trashy novel. You know? Nobody finds the Daniel Steele of ancient texts, right? you know, you've got like some mythos that's got a primal archetypal drama, right? And that will reflect a Daniel Steele situation, but it's not shallow, subversive, superficial. You know, it's a symbol of the process of a mystery. Is what's happening with the mythos, right? The mythos is a guiding line for the performance of a mystery school operation, which may or may not involve entheogens. And of course, the psychedelic experience, and one of the things Mind Unveiled mentioned in their video was people on drug trips seeing humanoid entities that look like clowns, usually putting it on them. You know, of course, you know, I had my my big heroic dose a few months ago, and you know, I saw effectively an angel, and I mean a biblically accurate angel, and I don't mean it had human features at all. Yeah, it was a seraph, as I've said, right? But you know, there's definitely something to the colorscape and everything else, right? So when we look at those that are in love with the clown persona, that their life is about that. This is a kind of sympathetic glamour magic, right? They are defending all of these particular things of the hardcore liberal personal lifestyle, right? And wanting, you know, because they want their politics to reflect a support and endorsement of their. Hey! I don't know what happened. I don't know why that happened. We still good? We're still good. Okay, we're still good. My phone just like wigged out for a second. We're supposed to be having phone issues, aren't we? I haven't had any phone issues, and that could have been a normal hiccup, and not because the conspiracy is happening. But anyway, not everything is the conspiracy happening. Sometimes you just have poor network. Anywho, looks like it's still continuous because I see 13 and a half minutes. Good. All right. So anyway, they're defending their culture, and they're using the aid of these spirits by being this personality that is going to be very, very defensive of it. And the clown outfit is them playing with your subconscious idea of how you treat a clown. Because one thing that you do with a clown is, yeah, you laugh at them, or will you smile at what they're doing in approval. You laugh at them approvingly, like, please do that. You make me smile, you make me happy. You are a source of happiness, is the idea. I am the clown. I bring joy to the world. I come in the colors of the rainbow. And of course, the rainbow is currently specifically appropriated for their culture. That then they said, we got to work with clowns to make this happen for that reason. Because clowns can play with all of those colors like that. They got the black and the white, and then they got all the pretty colors in between, especially the red and the blue. And the green sometimes. Green not so much, because green doesn't quite evoke it. Yellow has its place, not sometimes on the face, right? Like, just think about, like, I'm just thinking about how those color schemes work out too, right? And so, you know, when you cake all that makeup on and you change the appearance, right? And then, like, is it just a face painting, or Are we now going into prosthetic territory? Are you doing a more, are you now applying, we use silicone today, right? To put a false forehead. Like I once did a cool thing to play a demon with a false forehead, right? It's just, you know, you have to ask yourself, you're looking at the person now becoming this entity, and what all of that means as such. And it makes me think of stuff like the mythos in the Lost Book of King Og, with the spirits known as the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones were spirits that were being conjured up by King Og and his armies. They were conjured up to give them power to fight the Raphaimic Nimrod. I don't know if there was a human Nimrod and a Raphaimic king named Nimrod, but in the Lost Book of King Og, there is a Nimrod who is a giant, because we're talking about the 100,000 giant war, as noted in the Lost Book of King Og, which may or may not be horseshit, but I don't know. Intuitively, it comes to life in my mind. I always liked Arwayne Steiger's reading of it. It was that and the Liber of Lilith readings were what got me really interested in Steiger, and made me a part of that for that time. And, you know, I'm just not really keeping up with anybody over there anymore. Some of them still keep up with me, though. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. But, you know, I'm just trying to be more chill the F out, because I've been so not chill the F out about a decent number of things. But anyway. And hey, Susie Q, good to see you. So, there are two things that I have the strong ascertainment about, right? I mean, there's also something else. When you look at Clown World, it's just like I've come across typically most, you know, like just, you know, like regular straight guy typically is not clowning up. Straight women are clowning up, and then all the other stuff engenders clowning up. But just regular men or straight, I don't really see them clowning up. You know, they may have rainbow support. Maybe they even have like a clown lapel or something. You know, solidarity, but it's just not them. Right? But they are showing their loyalty, you know? They're showing it's their badge. It's their, this is who I am. I will enforce this, right? The funny thing about statutes versus laws, which is why we have statutes, is that statutes are unenforceable. There has to be a witness. It has to, you know, the place where the statute can be violated has to have an enforcer witness, someone who holds the badge of those ideals. And thus you get the cop with a badge who then may also serve a purpose in public safety. But by and large, they are there to uphold statutes. This is different than the law, which doesn't need a witness. All there needs to be is a plaintiff, someone who has the will to press charges for an actual wrongdoing done unto them. Right? So, this is where they get around anti-constitutional things, like the way the drug war was through statutes, because they can't actually pass quote-unquote laws. They could pass laws that establish statutes, but you are not being subject to that law. You are being subject to a statute in which a law made space available to create. That's a little bit different, because the things going on with the law are different than the things going on with the statute. But then that law may even make the statute, quote, necessary. And if it makes the statute necessary, that's when you can fight the law. Otherwise, there's really nothing to fight, because it's all just business. But as far as the clown culture is concerned, like I was saying, there's some things that we know about them. I was making the gender point a minute ago. The other things are they all are still human beings, but they've built a deep attachment with this demon as a protector. Right? Some demons are protectors. Pazuzu in ancient Babylon was a protector of children. Pazuzu is the particular demon we know of The Exorcist. And the subtext of the idea that Pazuzu is possibly protecting Reagan, I think her name was. Kind of funny, that movie came out in the 70s, her name was Reagan. And then, I'm pretty sure her name was Reagan. Somebody's name was Reagan. If it wasn't Reagan, there's a girl named Reagan in one of these movies. But anyway, the girl in The Exorcist. And Thomas Sheridan made an awesome video about this on social media. There's been some commentary back and forth about that I engaged Thomas with, and we had a good exchange about these ideas. So I believe I'm really on point about this, right? Is that Pazuzu really was protecting her because of what that film was not telling you, but you could infer if you look at the reflection in the many years, the 50 years or so, almost 50 years since that film, and you think about what was going on with the single mother in that film, what we now know about the actual church, the Vatican, it's the things they do to children, okay? So, yeah. And sometimes a child's only defense against being abused is to yell vulgarities at the adults that are forcing them to be in an abused and exploited situation. So the girl would willingly, without telling them, because she doesn't trust anybody in the world, she willingly goes inwards and lets the persona of Pazuzu come forward and say, no, you do not get to fucking talk to this fucking girl. I am her protector. This is her guard dog at this point. This is her big demon buddy friend. Deep down inside, she loves Pazuzu because she keeps the pedophiles away from her. Pazuzu comforts her when her mother is abandoning her for her lifestyle choices, for her things that she gives a rat's ass about in 1970s society. This is why people are dressing up like clowns. This is a generation that's been abandoned, right? In a way that is almost colder than the way Generation Xers. I mean, I'm Generation Xer, but not, but like, I'm A late X, and B, I'm not the product of hippies. So I definitely wasn't abandoned. I was probably more smothered, actually. I had the extreme opposite problem, because I think that's what it was. It was just like, if you grew up under liberal parents, you were abandoned. If you grew up under conservative parents during Generation X's coming of age, you were probably smothered, right? I was smothered, thus my arrested development, right? And not even realize, like, saying, like, I look at other people like running away from home or whatever, and it sounds kind of enticing, but I was not gonna fucking do that. I would have had nobody take care of me, and I couldn't take care of myself, right? It took me a long time to figure out how to really take care of myself. And, that's what ends up freaking you out a lot when you find out about the conspiracies against you, when you look at it and you say, but oh my God, I'm dependent on all these things they want to conspire against me about, and, and poison the food because I can't grow my own food, and da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, you're maybe gonna run to a demon because you're looking at that and it's just like, that demon looks scarier than the monsters I'm afraid of. I want to make friends with it. It's just like why do Russians want to fucking have a bear for a pet? Like, why not get a dog? Why build a relationship with an animal that could fucking destroy you easily, right? I mean, like, if I got a big ass fucking like German Shepherd monster fucking dog of some sort or whatever, like, it's gonna do some fucking damage. But I'm pretty sure if I have a half an inch of grappling technique, I can at least put my own fucking dog in a chokehold, right? What the fuck are you gonna do if your grizzly buddy has a really, really bad moment because of some shit you didn't know about because somebody fucking, like, I don't know, put drugs in his fucking food? Oh my God. Right? But just like why somebody would want to fucking befriend a bear or a tiger for reals is because you want to have a fucking boss monster on your fucking side. You want a boss monster on your side as a fucking protector. It's a demonstration of quote unquote strength, which is why the strength card is the woman and the lion. Right? So these people that are dressing up as clowns, they're doing it, they have a certain belief, and maybe also just because there's been actual teasing and bullying, and that teasing and bullying coming from, some pretty harmful words about stuff, which may or may not be warranted, but, a child just can't even fathom why people would want to be mean. And so therefore it sounds like an easy thing to say, make being mean against the law. And then somebody laughs at that child for being altruistic. And a child is going to be fucking altruistic. Especially because, yeah, we are forgetting a little bit I don't know if it's necessarily a message from the divine, from God, but perhaps a message of the divine from a goddess, maybe. Right? But then again, that's not true either, because girls, Mean Girls. We all know about Mean Girls and stuff. Pet cougars, kittens. All right. 40-year-old virgin. But anyway, I'm about to kill it over here because I just got in. But these they're just trying to protect people that they love, that have done nothing wrong, and they don't have a wherewithal about all the little things about good health and the sacredness of your body, and all these things, and they're being inundated with a common idea of being able to go with your urges and stuff like that. And the most basic rebellion against the church is if it feels good, do it. And that's how you rebel against the oppression of Christianity. And that, of course, spawns from the idea that, yeah, you're going to do it. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're just doing what feels good, and it makes your life in this realm exciting and fulfilled. Or at least it dulls a pain that you don't know how to deal with, and that you kind of resent that nobody expresses. And so that is the main reason why these people have embraced the clown. And they will hold on to that clown for as long as they think that they need it. And because that clown is a form of an adversary, because it needs to be adversarial against those that are perceived to be the ones that would harm these young people discovering themselves and everything else. That they will eventually find that choice, right? We have to look at there, and there has to be, they have to have A, no more reason to have it, and B, the way the world is has to end up becoming something where having it no longer serves them. And they'll come to that effectively on their own. And it'll be part of their past of, look at me when I used to do the clown thing, and then, they'll go brag about it to their gay and lesbian friends who are married with their adopted children, or the allegedly successful transition operative people, and just like, that's the idea, is that down the line they're going to be thanked for that, whether it was cringe or not, right? And it's just really it's just looking at people making all sorts of unnecessary choices towards those ends, right? I mean, like, there's people that want to have transition and shit like that. They don't even take care of their bodies as is. To have, to have the transition serve them, because they at least have a current decent standard of health, better diet, good heart, because they exercise and all these things, right? But they're just they're not interested in in being better at as what they are at all. They really want to bypass all of that and go straight to this issue, and then that's gonna that can cause a tremendous amount of problems. Um, and then it's like, all right, buddy insulted you yesterday, and nobody had the integrity to tell you, well, you were the one actually being very rude, and you now are taking insult because people were standing up to a rude thing that you did. Because to them, they're not. Oh, okay. Wait, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Don't go away. Don't. All right. All right. All right. I'm back. But that was really kind of the end of my thought at the same time. So I just want to make sure that was really kind of the end of my thought at the same time. So I just want to make sure I said goodbye properly, right? So that's the that's the situation, right? So that's that's the situation with all of the clown stuff, right? And I don't know how necessary it is to be super focused on wokeism so much in the meme warfare. But if we're going to bother with addressing when wokeism shows up, then we need to actually start really hammering into the ability to insert more constructive things that come along, quite frankly, the empathic lines that I just discussed about the deeper reasons why they are seeking these guardian daemons. These are guardian daemons that are going to, and a daemon that is there to protect you is going to be hostile to that which your heart tells it is a threat. The daemon will take the full charge of your nervous system, and you will behave accordingly to how threatened you feel. So either you can do that, or your spirit can do that, or you can just shut down and be a victim. So being a clown is part of their way of not being a victim. And maybe they think the whole world is as monstrous as a very real situation that they experienced that led them to needing to go to these extremes. But either way, I think that we've done a great job at at stopping them when they were being highly abusive. Remember, they're still trying to protect very real people and things to them. We're all human. And some of us are humans that are suffering a whole lot by our own foolish hand. And that doesn't make the suffering any less valid. It's just very frustrating when you don't admit your responsibility in it. Because if you have agency and you're still doing what causes you to suffer, then you are not a victim. You are a mere fool. Take care.